Welcome back, readers. We're going to be starting up my series that I called the Weekly Download, where I talk about some of the books I've been reading for the week. So instead of doing like every single book I read that week like I was doing previously, I decided to just give you like the highlights, like the good, the bad, the ugly, that kind of thing. Or in this case, most probably often it'll be the best and the less best, because I don't necessarily read bad books in a week. Sometimes I do, but just which ones I liked more and which ones I might recommend less. So we're going to look at those today. The book I liked the most, what I read that I liked least, and the best audiobook I listened to, because I listened to a few of those during the week. So we're going to start with the best. So that is going to be Dear America by Graham Allen. I got this little bit ago, but I finally got around to reading it. Graham Allen does a podcast by the same name, Dear America. It talks about politics in the U.S. and kind of what's going on in our country, and all of that, just all the things that are going on. Like right now, this book came out around the time like COVID was going on and all of that. So, when it first started. And that's kind of where like this particular book starts, and he just talks about all the different things going on. And I would give this an 8 out of 10 and say you should definitely check it out. I really liked it. He has another book called America 316. I definitely think I'm going to check that one out next. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is what I liked least. And this is unfortunate for me because this particular author, Jeremy Bates, I love him. He's a great horror writer. He's written several horror books that I've loved. And I'll put some of them up here. Have Catacombs, Suicide Forest, The Dancing Plague, which has a sequel that just came out. So I'm really looking forward to reading that because I loved that one. All three of these are, definitely check them out. They're great horror books, especially if you love horror. I read some of his short stories, novella type size books this week. It was Reroll and The Mailman, and these two here. And I wasn't the biggest fan of those. I just kind of felt like they weren't as good as some of his other stuff. I mean, if you love horror, you might want to check them out, especially if you read his stuff and like him. I'll keep reading like all his stuff. I just didn't particularly care for these ones too much. He has a lot of other ones out that you should definitely check out. The three I mentioned previously, plus many more. I have done several reviews for his books on my TikTok, so you can go check those out there, see what I think of some of the other ones. But maybe not start with those ones. Start with some of his other maybe longer works. Like I think the first one I read was the Suicide Forest one. That one was really good. So we're going to talk about the best audiobook I listened to this week. So this book is one I have read more than once. I think this is my third go around. So I have the book here. This is Ulysses Wakes by James S.A. Corey. It is the source material for the show The Expanse, which is on Amazon. It was originally on Sci-Fi, and then when Sci-Fi canceled it, Amazon picked it up. So the show's great, by the way. You should go check that out too. But the books, they're huge, right? There's like 9 of them. I just finished reading like a week or so ago the final book, the last book in the series, and that was really good. It was a great wrap up to the series. It was a bit sad, but still really good. I enjoyed it. So I listened to this book this week, and it is narrated by Jefferson Mays. He does a great job narrating the books. It's told from several different points of view. Mainly the two main characters of this book are James Holden and Joe Miller. So those are the ones that we mainly see throughout this book, but there are a few others in there as well. Can't recommend this enough. I love this book, obviously, since I've read it more than once, more than twice. So I also have this copy of it, which is the show tie-in edition, because I love when I find books that I really like and they have new different editions, like new covers, or they get like a show or a movie and then they make these covers. I have them. I always get them. I just have the two of these. There's a 10th anniversary edition of Ulysses Wakes, which is, of course, the first book that just came out recently. That it's really cool looking hardback, and it's pink lined, and it's got like pink on the edges, and it's so cool, and I would love that. If anybody watching this knows me, they could maybe think of it as a gift, but I don't know. We'll have to see. So go check this book out, whether you read it or listen to it. It is a great book, and it'll get you hooked on a bunch of books about the same size. So that's the books I've been reading this week, the best of the ones I've read. So go ahead and check those out. If you have any recommendations for books that I should read, go ahead and link them down in the comments below, and if I haven't read them yet, I'll definitely check them out. If I had, maybe I'll let you know. If you think there's something I should be reading, I'd love to hear it, because I'm always looking for new books to read and to check out. So that's it for this episode, and until next time, let's get reading.